Hey guys, this is gonna be a how to draw hands video, and take everything I say with a grain of salt because I'm not a professional, so anything that I say or I'm trying to show with what I've learned over the course of around 10 years, it could be the wrong advice. So anything I say, just take it with your own warning basically. Okay, now to get back to the main point of this video. I always go on tangents and I always talk too much, but anyway, so the first thing to do when you draw hands, or before you even start drawing hands, is to find references. I use references for all of these hands except for the ones at around the 6-minute and 30-second mark. But I use the reference for all of these hands because when you think about it, you have the most convenient reference at our disposal, which is our own hands. You can pose them however you want. You can go to a mirror, take a picture, or if you can't find it, or if you can't do any of those things, you can just go on Pinterest or Google and find a reference that you like and just use it. And I'm pretty sure, unlike using a reference like a pose or a full image, I don't think there's a copyright for using a hand or copying a hand. So I don't think you have to worry about copyright issues. So just use reference basically. So this will just kind of be a process of me doing these studies of hands until around the 6-minute mark, like I said. But this is just my process, and whenever I draw now, I kind of just go straight into detail mode. I don't like doing a preliminary sketch or rough sketch. I like to just go straight to line art mode. That is just my preference, and I can explain why I don't like rough sketches in another video, but overall it's for two reasons. It saves me a lot of time, and it also removes that whole, oh, I prefer the sketch over the final work or the final line art. But for many years before that, I was doing rough sketches and many layers, drawing a hand, turning the opacity down, and then doing another layer over it, because I would notice a lot of mistakes, and I'd have to make a new layer to basically fix those mistakes. But after many years, I don't like using layers. Also, the connection from the hand to the arm, at the wrist, is important to pay attention to, because on the pinky side, on the right side, I guess if you're using your right hand, on the right side of your hand, on the pinky side, there's a bump. There's that bump near your wrist. It's it's a bone, right? It's either a bone or a joint, and it protrudes a little bit, right, on the right side. On the left side, I do add a little bit of a bump as well, but a very slight compared to the one that's protruding outwards. And when you flip your hand around on the back side near your wrist, there's that vein, right? That vein where if you clench your hand or your fist, you see that that vein near your wrist. I also add that. That's a very important detail to add. I feel sometimes people forget to add that detail. You don't have to draw that line too harshly, but just indicate it a little bit, especially that vein or whatever at the wrist, it's gonna be important to add that if that hand is doing certain things, like if it's a closed fist, if it's clenching, if it's stretching a little bit. Actually, I don't think if it's stretching, but if it's clenching, like in a fist, then I would add that line, like in one of those hands I drew it. The fingers around the first joint also curve very slightly outwards, and then they go back inwards. And you can also shape the end of the finger as either like a straight line, like a square, or make it round, or you can even make it pointy. I think making it round or pointy will give the finger like a more feminine look. This is me showing how to stylize that hand with as few lines as possible, with simple shapes, and how the hand, if you cut the hand like in half, proportion wise, the top of the fingers, and then the halfway point, and then the bottom of the base, the bottom of the palm, it's around equal. I don't know if it's exactly equal, but that's how you can kind of use your eyes to gauge if the fingers should be taller or smaller, or shorter, I mean. Those knuckles, they have a tendon that's attached to them, right? Like I drew the 4 lines where the fingers start from. Those lines are tendons to the knuckles. They can emphasize more if the hand is like flexing or stretching or doing a certain pose. Also, this is something I noticed. I don't know if any other person has noticed this, but when drawing a closed fist with this kind of perspective of going like towards the camera, like the hand is going at the camera, the top of that hand, where like the knuckles would be, it kind of looks like stairs going down, if you see what I mean. And I think that thinking of it in that way made it a lot easier for me to draw that kind of hand. Alright, well, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys stuck till the end of the video, I appreciate it. My socials will be in the description below. See ya.